Hey guys, it's Cyrus of Chaos. Today I'm here with Daniele Garozzo, and we're going to be talking about his career from start to finish. And I say finish because he recently announced his retirement, which made me a little sad personally. And so we're just going to get his take on a bunch of things that happened during his career. So I hope you enjoy the interview. My first question for you is, how did you get into fencing, and what was it about this sport specifically that made you want to keep doing it?
Wow, what a question. How many years ago? It was like 25 years ago, and I was in this town, Ashirala, where I'm now. And in Ashirala, we have a special carnival. It's really celebrated. And I used to dress like Zorro, D'Artagnan, that kind of thing. And yeah, it was that thing that started my passion of fencing. But it was a little bit casual because a gym opened really close to my house. So I started it. And in that period of my life, I wanted to do like fightings. I started karate. I asked my mother to do box, but she said, no, okay, let's do fencing. It's better. So
So
it was
bas
like that.
so basically you liked sword fighting and you
Yes.
also wanted to fight with people.
Yes, exactly. In a
Makes
polite
sense.
way, my mother just do fencing.
Yeah, that's good. And did you start specifically with foil, or I know most people in Italy start with
Yeah,
foil.
yeah. I will say this joke about everyone in Italy starts with foil. Then who's good stays with foil, who's bad goes to pen sabre.
I've heard that joke before from a lot of people, so
First time joke.
there might be some truth to that actually. Have you ever tried the other two weapons?
A lot of epe, a lot, because in my hometown, Naturale, we were just there was just epe, so I was the only one. I was training with a dummy, and yeah, I wanted to do foil, but even my coach said maybe it's time to move to epe because you don't have anyone. But I was really uh, tough on my choice, and that's it.
Huh, that's funny. So growing up, did you have a fencing idol? And was there anybody that you tried to model your fencing after at all?
I had many idols, but no, the emulation, not a lot. Many idols I had, and I had the privilege to train with, like Stefano Barrera was like my mentor for many years. When I was here in Sicily, I was 14, and as I said, I wasn't training at all with so many sparrings, but he was quite close to my hometown,
Mhm.
1 hour and a half. So like my dad would take me twice a week, and he was in the best period of his career. He was a bronze medal of the world, so it was really an honor for me to train with him when I was 14, and he helped me a lot. And then I had Baldini. Then maybe the first one, the first hero I had in fencing was Aldo Montano, but
Hmm.
it was like a superstar in Italy in the moment he won the Olympics.
Yeah, his fencing is amazing. I've been to a couple World Cups with my dad, and the first one we went to was in Madrid, and Montano ended up getting third place. And he was watching from a different spot than I was, and he remembered that a couple of the other fencers who got top eight at that tournament were just in awe about how good Montana was. And I thought that was really cool that even his peers were like, oh my God, this guy is an amazing fencer. So yeah,
Yes,
that's pretty
he
cool.
was.
Everybody felt that way about him. Um, during your career, did you think that there was a bout at a World Cup or at an Italian championship that you felt like put you on the map and made people notice you?
No, it was like more gradual because in Italy we have like US, we have a lot of competition since you are a kid. So I started doing really well when I was a kid, and then moment after moment I started increasing my level, increasing my confidence, and I started to be in the national team, under 14, under 17, under 20, and so on. So maybe the first big moment of my career was here in Aciralo when I won the Cadet World Championship. But you know there were many steps of this ladder.
Got it. Um, what was the most memorable bout of your career?
it's quite easy because it could be the two Olympic finals for sure. The one I won and the one I lost.
That's what I was expecting. Um, can you talk a little bit about what it was like in Rio, just the whole tournament and what the feeling was like when you actually accomplished your dream of winning the Olympics?
Yeah, it was like a dream come true, and it's really hard to explain. I really don't have the words to explain it even after 8 years. It was magical, and even at the day, so many people told me it seemed like like you knew that you were in the day that you won. I didn't feel that. Honestly speaking, I didn't have that feeling at the moment. I was like feeling a lot the pressure and the tense of the moment, but I had the confidence. I made a lot of effort to be there, so I just said, okay, that's the day to put everything I have, and that's it. And uh, maybe it really was my day, but I prefer to think that I created the day at the moment, and it wasn't like destiny, but I made that destiny. And yes, it was special. The moment I still remember the moment. If I close my eyes, I really still remember the moment when I hit him with a flick
On the shoulder, yep.
shoulder, yeah, with a flash that maybe if I do it another 100 times or maybe 1,000 times, I will never put it. But yeah, it was a nice moment. Yeah, definitely a nice moment.
That's amazing. Um, Comparing that to the Tokyo Olympics, that must have been such a weird situation because going from a situation where everyone is together in Rio to the bubble Olympics in Tokyo where there's not a lot of contact. Can you talk about the transition and what that was like?
Yeah, it wasn't so nice. It was a little bit sad because I still remember perfectly the moment when I entered the stadium in Rio. It was magic. It was magical. And when you enter in Maracanã, it was like 100,000 people screaming. It was crazy. It was one of the best moments of my life. And when I entered in Tokyo, it was silent, totally silence. Yeah, it was weird. It was very weird. It felt like we were out of the pandemic, but not so much out of the pandemic. So it was a weird feeling, but better than do not doing it. So I
Yeah.
was happy I had to be there.
Yeah. Must have been weird for a first-time athlete because making the Olympics is such an amazing accomplishment, and hearing everyone like cheering as you enter must be such a huge, like, I don't know, pat on the back, validation of all the hard work you've done. And to walk into an arena that's just silent, I don't know, it just seems very strange.
Yeah,
But
it is. It was, yeah, the time it was. And yeah, we had that feeling. It was a little bit even nervous because, for example, an Italian guy of the rowing team, that he has a crazy story. I won't tell because it's too long, but just to say, he came back from an injury to be there, a very big injury. He was there, he made it into the final, and the day of the final, he got caught with positive test. He can do the final.
oh my
So
God.
can you imagine how tense it was the situation in the Italian building about that, and we were like too scary to do not compete for that. So yeah, in it was a good, of course, it was a very good Olympics. I have great memories about it, but compared to Rio and to what I did, not just in a competitive way, but in a experienced way, it was uncomparable.
Hmm. Okay. So I've heard people say before that the Olympics puts a kind of pressure on you that you can never understand until you've actually experienced it. But some people, like I think you do, deal with that pressure much better than other people. And I was wondering, do you have any like mental exercises or anything? Is there any way that you have learned how to deal with that kind of pressure?
Honestly speaking, I'm good in dealing with high pressure, but the truth is that I'm always stressed. Like, oh, I'm always angry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a joke, but sometimes I think that it's a little bit truth. I always spent my career like every competition, like a national competition, international World Cup, even if I'm already qualified to the Worlds or the Olympics, like it was the most important competition of my life.
Life or
I've
death.
always, yeah. So for me, the pressure was normal. I felt the pressure in the national competition and I felt the pressure in the Olympics. So honestly, I think I fence better there because I'm used to that kind of pressure.
That's interesting. A question that I get asked all the time is how do you deal with anxiety and nerves as a or not how do you deal with it? People ask me, how do you make it go away? And my response is like it never goes away, but you get better at dealing with it because that anxiety is your body's way of telling you that it's important. And I would assume for most people at the Olympics that that feeling is dialed up to like a million, but it sounds like for you it was just dialed up all the time, so it wasn't as different as an experience as it may be for most people.
I agree. I agree. I definitely agree. You can't let anxiety go away. If it's something important for you, you feel that. You feel
Hmm.
that, and that in your body. You feel that in your mind. You don't have to let it go too high because that could be pathological for sure. But most of us doesn't experience that. And yes, as I said before, I was good in that situation because I tried all my career to fence at my best in every competition and to feel that pressure. Really, sometimes people don't believe me when I say this, and I can imagine. But I really felt the tension of a national championship like it was a big competition, even if it was in my moment of my career where if I win it or I made like top 32, it doesn't change anything. But that kind of mentality maybe was the key to success in that very tense moments.
That makes sense to me. So you and I have talked in the past about the way that the attack and the attack in prep are called in foil. And we've talked about how one of the things that has made you very good is the really patient march that people call and just being able to finish with the counterattack. And we've also talked about how the fact that you don't like that kind of style. Can you tell me why you don't like it and what you think about the changes for attack and prep that are happening now?
Yeah, I think that it did go too far away now. It did go too far away. In the moment I started it, like I do believe that me and maybe some other fans like Alexander Masialas, we understood in a certain moment that fencing was changing, that the
Hmm.
kind of attack was changing, and we did it better than the other. Like really, we adapted really soon and we pushed that kind of attack. And in the first years, like I really had the feeling that my opponent didn't knew how to react to
Hmm.
this. Remember, fencers that were way better than me, that really didn't know how to, but truly, really, way better than me. Didn't know how to fence with me totally to engage to encounter the distance to defend. It was like they just surged the blade, and my arm was
Yeah,
in the other country, and I was
yeah.
going really slow, and I was sitting there like praying for me to stop it. So yeah, at the beginning it was like that. Now I think that but the main concept was for me at least that I wanted to give the feeling to the referee that I was pushing the opponent. So
Hmm.
I did really close with my opponent. I was really close, never stopping. Even if the arm was very large, I was in a distance where there was fencing contact, or at
Hmm.
least the opponent could go to attack, they could make the parry if I threw the touch. Now in this moment, I don't like it too much because I think the distance is too long. Sometimes I see fences that I like moving just the two, the two of the feet, and
Mouse
they are
step.
like yeah, and they are like 1 kilometer from me. So at that moment, I don't believe that they are attacking. But as my friend Giorgio always said, you created it, so shut up, follow and upset it.
And do you like that the referees are starting to call attack and preparation on the long attack now?
Yeah, absolutely. But I believe that in some situation they should call more.
Yeah, I agree as well. It seems like for a long time the mentality has been if you have any forward motion at all, it's attack. But recently I've started to see a shift towards the person who accelerates first is given attack. And
This is especially when they both come together in the center, when they both go meeting each other. But
Mhm,
sometimes I really see, and we still see a lot, that the opponent was marching and the other one was going backward or stopping, can stay even they have to stay like 2 seconds waiting for him to stop and then he can start. I believe that if in the moment the defender is stopping and you are not marching towards him and you are not at least close to him at that moment, because if you see like my video, that was one of the main goals, to stay always close, because if
mhm,
you don't stay close and you are not marching forward, you're not attacking,
mhm.
because you are, the distance is too long. So if he goes away and you keep marching slowly at 1 kilometer, you are not more attacking. I do believe this, and I think that we should call more of this kind of attacking preparation. But I know it's very hard for referee and fencing and foil and sabre. It's not easy. It's not easy to referee.
Yeah, of course not. So I was wondering what your opinion is about the corruption stuff that's happening in Saber, and is there corruption in foil that you've seen as well?
For the first question, I can say it's very sad. It's very sad. Our sport shouldn't be like this. We are not a dirty sport. Luckily and unluckily, there are not so much money in our sport. So let's keep it clean at least.
Yeah.
And I do believe it's very sad. No other words, no other comments. Yeah. In foil, maybe in the past, but now I don't think so.
Okay, that's good. I'm really glad that that's happened.
Yeah, I don't have this feeling, honestly.
All right, good. I'm really happy to hear that. Um, so many times when I highlight you on my page, it's because of a crazy infighting touch or something. How did you get so good at infighting?
Stefano Barrera.
Okay.
We yeah. That's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer. There's no other answer. We like did when I was a kid, like crazy in fighting. We had a gym where the how to say the roof, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Roof.
it was very close to us, and we had two pillar on the side of the strip, so we had really to fight each other
Mm.
like dogs. And when there was contact, we never stopped it, and we keep on trying to get the blade of the opponent, do not get the pillar, and respond. And it was like this, but without referee. So for even 10 seconds of boom, 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 punching the opponents, then keep going. So I learned from him, and yeah, it goes like this.
That makes sense. During my career, I've been praised for having really good defense, and back in the short timing, it was a lot harder to attack people. But a few of my teammates were exceptionally good at attacking, and in order to be able to stop their attacks, I had to get extremely good at defending. So it makes sense that if you have someone else who's really good at infighting, you would get good at infighting quickly also.
And especially it was the only one, the only partner I had. So I had to train every day with him.
All
So
the time.
yeah, of course I improved it a lot.
Yeah, makes sense. So this is a slightly more sad question. How did you know that it was time to retire?
I don't know if you read it completely, but I had a
I
problem.
read I read the translation of it, but sometimes you miss like the nuance of the message.
I have a heart problem. I have a heart problem, so uh, I have to take care of my health, and yeah, there's the only answer I can say in this moment, and it's not too bad, it's not too good, and yeah, I have to take care of my health, and I I truly would have loved to do the Olympics in Paris, but in Italy we have like a really strict restrictive law on this kind of issue, on this kind of cardiac conditions, and the doctor didn't give me the opportunity to do the competition. So it
I'm really
wasn't even a choice, honestly speaking, but it honestly, as I'm a doctor too, it was a correct choice from the physician. Yeah,
still must be difficult. Is there anything that you can do about this in the future to improve the condition, or
to come back on piste.
maybe? No? Mm.
For sure not.
Do you think that
But
you?
I won't leave fencing. I love too much fencing. I will be there. Maybe I don't know. I don't think I will do a maestro, but I don't know. It's something in federation. We'll see.
Okay, that was my next question. Do you think you'll still do you think you still fence like in the club for fun?
I don't know even if in this moment I can't. In this moment I can't, but maybe in the future. Let's hope it.
Okay. Um, those are all the questions that I've got for you. Is there anything that you want to say or anything you want to ask me?
No, no, yeah, we said everything. I really enjoy our talk. I'm sad that the translation wasn't good. Maybe I had to put the translation on the post
Now that
because
the translation wasn't bad. I just whenever anything is auto translated, you're never sure exactly how accurate it is.
yeah, yeah, sure, for sure, for sure. And that's it. Yeah, I'm a little bit sad in this moment to do not compete because it was like 3 months to the Olympics, and I wanted to close my career there. I wanted to close my career in Paris, but like I said many times, I'm fine. I'm fine. I really enjoyed my time in fencing. I love my time in fencing. It was amazing. But not speaking of victories, of gold medals, for many other things like
Journey.
yeah, the journey exactly. I had a lot of friends around the world. We really had a great fun. We really had fun, and that's what counts the most for me now.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, one more question. Is there
Yeah,
anybody new or like young that you think is really promising, either in Italy or somewhere else?
there are many. There are many. There are many, but it depends. How young do you? The question is how young. Young, it's 20 or 15.
I start paying attention to people when they have a little bit of success in cadets, and I really start paying attention to people when they have more success in juniors. So not any junior than like the cadet level, not any younger than the cadet level.
In this moment in Italy, it's a little bit weird because I think it's a transition moment, and
Hmm.
yeah, there are good athletes, but no one I think it's exploding soon. I do like a lot of young athletes of the senior team, like Lombardi. It's 21, but he's really, really good. I
Yeah,
like his
he's got an interesting style for sure.
style. He's a super nice kid, and he remembers me a lot. He's like quite silent, but when he has to push, he pushes. And many others, of course. We have like Maki, of course, but Maki is now in the prime of his career. Marini,
Hmm.
yeah, they are not young enough to say they are young.
Yeah. Anybody outside of Italy who's caught your eye?
I do believe China is working really well. I do believe China is working really well. They had bad years in this moment, not in this moment, in the last years, like they even weren't competing. Now I've seen them in the juniors in last year, this year. They're doing good. I think that they will come back strong in the next 4, 8 years, really, really competitively against the big nations.
That'd be exciting to see. The more countries there are that are producing strong fencers, the more interesting I believe the sport becomes because each
That
country has its own style and it's more interesting when you see somebody from a country and you're like, "Oh, this is an easy bout," to suddenly like, "Oh, that guy knows what he's doing." So,
definitely, yeah. I think that like now, comparing to 20 years ago, there are no easy match. There are no easy match. Sanso told me that like when he was in his prime, like more than 20 years ago, he warmed up just a little bit before the first match because he was sure to win
yeah,
easy. Moment in foil, it's impossible. When you are in top 64, you have a tough match, 100%.
that's really good to hear. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Good that the level of the sport is improving overall, and I hope it
def-
continues to go up.
yeah, me too.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm gonna
Thank
miss watching you compete a lot. So
Thank you. I will miss to compete a lot, but I will be in fencing for sure.
good, glad to hear it. I hope your heart continues to improve, and I hope we continue to see you
Thank,
around the sport.
thank you so much. Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my Emerald and Platinum patrons David Amrani, Jonah Atkinson, Tiffany Miller, Roman Bruce, and Veronica Saran for their very generous contributions to this channel. Any other names you see are gold patrons. Thank you guys so much for the contributions. They really help out a lot and will enable me to make more videos like this. If you have any more ideas for what you want to see next, you can vote on those things on my Patreon page. To help support the channel, you can find links to my Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo accounts in the video information. Thanks guys, see you next time.